This is Camnet News. Thank you so much for choosing us for that balanced, unbiased and factual news. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories on our desk. NDC leader CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI suspends his Vice President Joseph AKAFUMBA. Confusion rocks the African Methodist 17th Episcopal Church. And COVID-19 claims 15 lives in the last 24 hours. In international news, second batch of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccines arrive in South Africa. And in sports news, KAMANGA retains FAR's top job. Join me shortly for the details.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television. For non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage, Zambia needs Camnet television. For national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia, watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on Go TV and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you for joining us. The Lusaka City Council LCC has removed accumulated waste across the city as part of the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Healthy campaign. This was done in collaboration with community-based organizations and franchise contractors who provided equipment and manpower to help clear off the waste. Speaking at the cleanup exercise, LCC Director Public Health Edgar Mulwanda says the council is concerned with accumulation of waste in the city. That is why CBEs and franchise contractors have been engaged to help remove the accumulated waste in their areas of operation. He observed that the city has seen accumulation of waste, which has been exacerbated by the rains affecting the collection pattern of waste.
The last Saturday of the month. And as usual, the Lusaka City Council is coordinating the Keep Zambia Clean, Green and Health activities. And as we've been calling upon the general public time and again, this time around, called upon them to join in and ensure that we not only clean our places, but we make them healthy. And in this particular month, what we've done is we are working together with CBEs and the franchise contractors. So we've ensured that all the areas, all the 7 of equipment from the various CBEs we work with, and we've been working in different instances where in some areas the general public have also joined in to help us clean this particular area. So we are concerned with accumulated waste. There's been a lot of accumulation of waste in the past few weeks, and we are ensuring that we remove that waste. And this has been exacerbated by the rain. As you might be aware, we had the challenges of the rate of collection.
Zambia has in the last 24 hours recorded 15 deaths. The Ministry of Health has reported that the cumulative number of COVID deaths in the country now stands at 1,081. The ministry has also reported that 563 new COVID cases have been reported out of 5,380 tests conducted in the last 24 hours. This brings the total number of active cases in to 3,512 in the country. And the Minister of Health, Jonas Chanda, has insisted that the COVID-19 remains a threat to the nation and that the fight against the pandemic can only be won if the people continue to adhere to the 5 golden rules of preventing the spread of the pandemic, among them masking up and avoiding crowded places. The construction of the $5.4 million United States dollars Mbala water supply and sanitation project is nearing completion ahead of the scheduled project timeline. The water and sanitation project has exceeded 90% of the construction works commenced in June 2020, was expected to be completed in November this year. This came to light yesterday when Minister of Water Development, Sanitation and Environmental Protection, Raphael Nakachinda, inspected the project in Mbala. Mr. Nakachinda said the water expansion project, which is under the Integrated Small Towns Water Supply and Sanitation Project, will benefit over 80,000 Mbala residents. He says strategic and robust water infrastructure systems are important in the social and economic development of the country. The minister is on a familiarization tour of northern Muchinga and Lopola provinces.
This is just one of the many projects that are being implemented by government, of course through utility companies with the support of cooperative partners. So I think to witness this kind of works and also the testimony in Mbala of the fact that the projects, the water project has actually been completed. I think the sanitation project is moving on course. I think that is very encouraging, and we hope that eventually Mbala will continue to earn its place on the national map as an example, even in the water sector, yes, and sanitation sector.
Government says the fight against climate change needs concerted efforts to be won, hence encouraging the private sector to get involved in the promotion of a green society. National Development Planning Minister Alexander Chiteme says government has realized this fact, resulting in policy frameworks that support climate change resilience activities. The minister notes that over the past years, the country has seen adverse impacts of climate change, such as droughts, seasonal flash floods, and dry spells, which threatens the food and water security. In this regard, the minister says government has been putting measures with other line ministries, among them agriculture, fisheries and livestock ministries, in support of climate resilience practices. Mr. Chiteme was speaking during the launch of the Zambezi Live Festival, whose main agenda is to promote green environment solutions.
In keeping with Go Green is good, government working through ministries of agriculture and fisheries and livestock is promoting climate smart agriculture, CASA, practices such as minimum tillage and residue retention, agroforestry, diversification of crops, and crop rotation. Additionally, we are promoting drought-resistant small ruminants such as goats and sheep. Government is also supporting growing of drought-tolerant crops and crops varieties including cassava, sorghum, millet in areas prone to droughts. Gains are already being achieved, as we can be demonstrated by some farmers in Eastern Province under the Integrated Forest Landscape Project. This is a project that is under my ministry in Eastern Province, and we are getting a lot of carbon credits for it because of the initiatives that we have launched.
Opposition National Democratic Congress leader CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI has charged that the United Party for National Development Alliance has failed because the UPND has been rejecting all calls to see the alliance succeed. Addressing the media Saturday in Luansha, Mr. KAMBWILI announced that there is no alliance between the NDC and the UPND. He has to this effect suspended his Vice President Joseph AKAFUMBA, Secretary General Bridget Atanga and Edward Mombe from NDC, and should not be seen undertaking any activities in the name of the NDC. Other members who were part of the alleged illegal briefings in Lusaka have also been suspended pending disciplinary action. Meanwhile, Mr. KAMBWILI says the injunction filed before the Lusaka High Court against him by Mr. AKAFUMBA and Atanga is baseless, as the two have no powers to remove him from the position of president and stop him from executing his duties. The past 4 days have been a hive of activity in the National Democratic Congress Party, which saw the Vice President expelling CHISHIMBA. KAMBWILI, let's look at this.
Yesterday you said KAMBWILI appointed me as Secretary General around 06 when he formed this party. Now, how do you fire somebody who appointed you? How do you fire the appointed? So, what the Secretary General, Mrs. Atanga, was saying, because she's still our Secretary General, although she will face some disciplinary action. For us here is not to chase people. We want to build. And surely, Alliance fail, he said to Fulungani Party. Alangam left for join a UPND. All you can do, you just go and join them. In conclusion, the Central Committee has resolved all those who were involved in that illegal press conference have been suspended with immediate effect. And we are going to write to each individual going by the provision of the Constitution. So we are going to follow procedure by writing to all of you, including Honorable Tshala, my younger brother. You are suspended. And we write to you to exculpate 10 days. I still don't understand why the UPND was so adamant on straightforward issues that could have resolved our alliance. Having said that, effective today, unless otherwise, NDC is no longer a member of the alliance.
We will continue to follow this matter until it reaches its logical conclusion. In other news, the opposition United Party for National Development in Western Province has accused the Patriotic Front administration of allegedly failing to take development in the area. UPND Western Province Chairman Kapelo Mbangweta has told Camnet News in an interview that government has failed to take development in the areas despite engaging line ministries on the much-needed development. Mr. Mbangweta, who is also Nkeyema Member of Parliament, says the roads in the province are still in a deplorable state. He has further noted that the province has no basic social amenities such as electricity, water and food network in some parts of the province.
We are slowly getting worried that maybe our hopes might be dashed because the rain has, as a matter of fact, caused a bigger problem now because we had a very serious downpour a couple of about 10 days or so, and it has destroyed a lot of infrastructure in our place. Bridges have been washed away, school buildings, roofs blown off. Some of the buildings have totally been destroyed, teachers' houses and so on. So as a result, there's a big trail of destruction which has occurred, especially in Kayema. And then what has the government done up to this time? Zero. But if it was in other areas, we would have had people beating drums, we would have had the minister in the vice president's office going there. But in this case, they haven't. And then these are the people who can claim that come 12th August, they will get a vote. How would they get a vote from the people whose backs have turned on? That will not happen, and we will make sure that it does not happen.
Patriotic Front Information and Publicity Chief Administrator Chendela Mukondo has urged aspiring candidates to abide by the directive to stop dishing out money in public as a means of mobilizing voters. In an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Mukondo says the directive issued by the party's National Mobilization Chairperson, Richard Musokwa, is commendable. He notes that this trend of dishing out money has been intimidating to those who do not have money to dish out to electorates as the country prepares for the August 12, 2021 general election. Meanwhile, Mr. Mukondo says the ruling PF is now stronger in most areas that were deemed opposition strongholds.
We have a lot of people who could not have those resources but they are very good leaders. So basically what MCC has given to the people out there, especially our party, it's commendable, and we cannot overemphasize over that one. It's the best way to go, and we want not money or the power of the influence of money to influence the decision making of our people, and that is within our party itself. But would love decisions to take its position, so that at the end of the day we end up as a democratic party that is full of ideas, brilliant ideas, fresh ideas, and at the end of the day we'll be able to tell the people what we are going to do out there. Because basically, if you look at the history of flashing money, giving money, it's only done during election, and after that a lot of people immediately are elected to this honorable position. They forget their constituencies. They forget the people that they were telling that they will be ditching out money. And the ditching out of money, it's very temporal, because money, it's not something which is easy to find. Money, you have to provide evidence at the end of the day that you are at work. And the others who are using it to block others, so they know this money is coming from Wakateka, even if it is coming from their own pocket, they wouldn't say that. So basically, we have avoided that. And what our MCC has done, it's a commendable job. It has brought sanity, and it will build the party beyond 2021 to where we are going.
The African Methodist 17th Episcopal Church has accused its presiding bishop of failing to perform its duties in accordance with the constitution of the church. Some concerned reverends and lay members of the church told the media Saturday morning that the presiding bishop, Reverend Jacobus Wilfred Messiah, has failed in his duties in uniting the church, but instead has become the author of confusion in the church. The aggrieved clergy have explained that despite writing to its leadership in the United States of America to look into the matter, the Americans have instead sided with the perpetrators of the law. Prudence Chota filed this report.
The African 17th Methodist Episcopal Church have escalated to unprecedented levels due to what some clergy in the church are calling selfishness of their presiding bishop working with some church leaders in the United States of America. Zambia, the DRC Congo Brazzaville, Rwanda, Burundi and Kenya form part of the 17th Episcopal District of the church, and Reverend Jacobus Wilfred Messiah, a nation of the Republic of South Africa, has been a presiding bishop since 2012. According to some church clergy, over the years, there has been fundamental deviation from the norms and codes of the church constitutional practice and church governance system, deviation which have been injurious to prosperity of the church and has gradually led to the development of a toxic spiritual environment and stagnation. Several attempts by different leaders have been made to try and correct the operating environment using internal administrative and judicial structures so that the church can become a reflecting of its beliefs and values. Regrettably, all attempts by members of the church to try and correct the operating environment have continued to fall on deaf ears.
So the Akanta develops a tire burst and it flips. 9 pastors died on the spot. What does the church do? The same bishop we are discussing takes money from the church coffers, 5,000 kwacha, and gives it to the bereaved family and says, Ishimpia tualami ashimako, tualami kongweshako, and we will pay you back. This money must be paid back into the coffers when well-wishers give us money.
We've spoken about issues that affect the governance of the church, and they've been falling on deaf ears. We are a connection church, and we are governed by the Constitution. Each and every member who is in good and regular standing with the church, they've got a voice to point out any issues that are affecting the governance of the church.
The church is run by a council of bishops from which bishops are assigned to supervise the 20 episcopal districts of the church that are spread across the globe.
What we are saying here is that we want to restore good governance in the AME Church. Ichirongani chichifuiri okubwerera ife chifuiri okuba nga mwatu muna pansi pali ati bapasita balaba leya bafuire okuba bapasita bachine noti ni bapasita ndebo mpyakolo okumibire endalama. That's not right, and that's what we are saying to HTF.
The concerned ministers have explained that the presiding bishop, whose tenure came to an end in 2020, has called for a conference where members of the public, including those from other parts of the country, will assemble here in Zambia, while the presiding bishop will be addressing the ministers virtually. This is a risk in the COVID-19 era, which the concerned clergies are now asking Minister of Religious Affairs to intervene.
Why should we allow people from 5 provinces to come and meet in Kabwata, while the so-called our bishop will be out there in South Africa, where they are not even moving in the comfort of his home, doing it on Zoom, and us being subjected to rubbing shoulders with the person who may not know what he or she is suffering from. And so, as a beloved or as a loving person to the people of God, I, Reverend Sampa, I stand for the lives of people that God created.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Kanyama Member of Parliament urges youths to respect leaders at all levels. This and more after this break.
You know I can take her a bit.
Yes, my dear.
I was thinking of getting you a Bugatti on your birthday.
Really?
I'm quiet. My name is Yana.
Don't worry, man. That's why there is insurance.
Insurance?
You heard me.
Not just any kind of insurance, but Savenda General Insurance, a company that offers superior customer service, highly professional and dedicated staff. We are not just any insurance company, but an insurance company that actually pays our claims. We cover, among others, fire, marine, aviation, engineering, agriculture, motor vehicle, and miscellaneous insurance. So, live life to the full, knowing that Savenda General Insurance has got you covered. Savenda General Insurance. Insurance excellence.
Dr. Bigron, musaibala komutienda okuni gift na land. Uchitenkubeti uibise mojo basayone. Oh! Mwina moshi, nakuletera njinga. Latest ina rufesi gear na mawaipa.
Difficult chidi ashidi njinga. Liam 19 pendef kondo. Transport, we got it.
Nanga phone for communication. Ipuzi sana chizungu. Yeah, you see what I mean?
It's a camera, difficult.
It's communication. We got it. Indemo powerful system ndimba X-Buzz.
Mufumile kukalale. Na mnaimo muli bakumushi. We got it. Yo Bikron, utole noleta nchemfule mungani. Get you watch that post and change. 1, 2, 3, both of you. Kabala ngempang. Don't be stupid. We got it.
And why do you look so pale and busy scratching yourself?
Well, Amwandi, you know my skin is very sensitive. I've tried all the skin products and nothing seems to work.
Have you tried Oracle Pure Glycerin?
Oracle Pure Glycerin? What's that?
Just give me a minute.
Oracle Pure Glycerin gives your skin a youthful and healthy glow.
Ish, you're glowing. Don't tell me.
Yes!
I already know the secrets. Oracle Pure Glycerin.
Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for that perfect skin.
Hello, have you heard about Msika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, Msika is here. Advertise on Msika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact
+260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467.
Nsika, allowing your business to grow.
Thank you for staying on. We continue with the news. Kanyama Member of Parliament Elizabeth Perry says government is keen on making sure that the lives of many people are uplifted, as evidenced by the developments being undertaken countrywide. Speaking during the youth mobilization rally in Lusaka's Kanyama compound, Mrs. Perry says her office has come up with an empowerment scheme urging members of her constituency to visit them and get full information. Meanwhile, the lawmaker has urged the youths not only in Kanyama but the country at large to respect the leadership at all levels if they are to become better leaders themselves. She says youths should also cultivate a culture of dialogue when they feel left out in the developmental aspirations of the country.
Manyumba ya polisi tangala nayo matala our president basebenza ofa tieni tichite kampeni ya wa president watu aendiga Tagwarungu kuti kamu 12 August akawine mama. Do you know that muno makanyama ndifa mene tinalembesa bantu kutira kwinango konse. Exactly. So we have to canvass for this vote for the president. That means Kanyama empowerment. As my nazi Nanyamata, Nasagula office Pasimosoni. For F23, Musiendo Funsa, putting empowerment Kwanjiriko. Program we are running on my empowerment for the Elizabeth Piri initiative. Okay. Discipline as it taking over.
Ministry of General Education Permanent Secretary Jobix Kalumba says his ministry will institute investigations in the matter in which the replacement of teachers have been complaining of not being put on the payroll. Mr. Kalumba says the teachers' payroll systems are not handled by the ministry but respective provinces and districts. He says his ministry will engage the District Education Board Secretary officers in respective districts to understand why some replaced teachers have not been put on the payroll despite having served for several months. The PS was responding to a question over the recent revelations that employed teachers by government through the replacement system have not been put on the payroll despite working for over 6 months.
Teachers are not getting paid. The payroll is managed by respective provinces and districts. So we will investigate, we'll get more details from the DELs and from the POs as to what is contributing to that. Then we'll be able to inform the nation. We need to investigate more about that.
Lwangeni Member of Parliament Charles Zulu has handed over bicycles to 60 headmen in Chief Magoya's chiefdom, donated by President Edgar Lungu. The lawmaker informed the traditional rulers that President Lungu, during his visit to Eastern Province, heard their request and has since fulfilled his promise of donating the bicycles. Speaking during the handover, Mr. Zulu said the donation of the bicycles is aimed at easing the movement by the headmen as they carry out their duties. Zanis now reports.
President Edgar Lungu has donated bicycles to 60 headmen from Chief Magoya's area in Lwangeni, Chipata district in Eastern Province. Handing over the bicycles to the traditional leadership was Lwangeni Member of Parliament Charles Zulu.
Munaenda kuja kutauni mnawauza president. The president tifuna chani, tifuna njinga, isindia number 1 utamine tifuna ifuma headmen that libe transport. A headman a president anagamba no, don't worry my headman. Don't worry, ina nikugondani ine. Osati muone monga kuti sinikuganizirani. So iyo dandaulo yanu yamveka. Nikaenda kulusaka nzani ndokuchita no organize njinga izamene mufuna. Ufuna kunachoka kulimwe. Simwamene? Amen. Imwe ndimwe mnaenda kwa president kwenda opema.
And these are words of appreciation from the traditional rulers.
Titokoza kwa president watu aedika Chagwalungu
potikumbukira isu mahedmen kutipatsa zinjinga zakuti zithandize maendedo yathu ndiponso pochita mobilize zinthu zonse zofunikira ku anthu athu m'midzi mwathu.
Tuyenda lini bwino kulingana tusowa maendedwe ma transport ndipo tuyamikira kwambiri kwa president poona kunena kuti anthu bawo abakomera mtima notipasa ma transport kumonga kumanjinga. Tibaonga president kuti mtima umene uyapitirire kwambiri kuti mulungu ndiye atabaonjezere kuti atisunge mphererera.
Later, the Lwangeni lawmaker handed out certificates of registration to 20 cooperatives in his constituency that will enable them to have access to empowerment funds.
What we've done so far in the Lwangeni constituency in terms of empowering local people, especially the women, and I would want this empowerment to go to also the youth. You know, before you ask for anything from government, first you are supposed to be registered. You're supposed to be a registered entity. So what we did here, we organized certificates for these groups, women groups. There are about 20 of them.
And these are the recipients of the certificates.
Hello! Asogolera atusha kuti otipasa ma certificate. Ndiponso magulu ya babezoya ma certificate koma azulu. Zikomo.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Commerce, Trade and Industry Ministry Permanent Secretary Mushoma Mulenga has called on cooperatives to become active participants in the process of rural industrialization. Mr. Mulenga further urged cooperatives to take advantage of the abundant resources in rural areas and enhance their businesses as a way of contributing to economic development. The Permanent Secretary was speaking when he graced the launch of the training of cooperatives in governance and entrepreneurship in Mwinilonga District. And speaking at the same event, Mwinilonga District Farmers Union Board member George Gentili thanked government for the support. Krevet Chituta of NAIS now reports.
We have gathered here for the purpose. These are 30 participants being trained in cooperative governance and entrepreneurship through Cooperative Development Sustainability Project financed by Enhanced Integrated Framework, EIF. The program is aimed at enhancing Zambia's traditional exports through improved productivity of cooperatives. This is why Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Permanent Secretary Mushoma Mulenga is here in Mwinilonga to launch the program.
The Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry is implementing the Cooperatives Development and Sustainability Project with the support from the Enhanced Integrated Framework, EIF. My ministry wants to see cooperatives become active participants in the process of rural industrialization and take advantage of the resources that are in abundance in the rural areas. The participation of youth and female-headed cooperatives and cooperatives with at least 50% female membership is highly and deliberately encouraged.
And Mwinilonga District Farmers Union Board member George Gentili thanked government for the support.
We are being moved from the traditional to modern cooperatives, whereby we are being told exactly what we are supposed to do in our working areas. We can assure you that we as farmers of Mwinilonga, we are much equipped with the program. We just need the support to be supported.
Mwinilonga District Commissioner Arnold Maplanga commended government for considering his district in the project.
The PSSR, we are thankful that your ministry was able to choose Mwinilonga District to be among the 13 pilot districts where the Cooperative Sustainability Project is being undertaken. And as a district administration, we will do our best to ensure that the equipment and the tools that our officers will be allocated to perform their functions will be taken care of.
And Cooperatives Director Shadrick Mungalaba explained the objectives of the program.
There are only 13 districts in this project, countrywide. And so to have 2 in a province, that is a lot. What is exciting about this project is that it is focusing on the capacity of microfarmers. to be able to give proper training to the cooperators.
The cooperative training is currently going on across the country. Krivach Tuta reporting in Mwinilunga District, Northwestern Province.
Matera constituency aspiring Member of Parliament Fabian Momba says the impending new Cybersecurity and Cybercrime Bill of 2021, which is yet to be tabled before Parliament, must be voted by each Member of Parliament despite their political affiliation. Mr. Momba says the introduction of a said bill will help citizens to be cautious about the prevailing trend of social media abuse. He explains that the bill will help patriotic citizens to maintain their innocence and remain decent, as the law will only catch up with perpetrators. The bill, which is before Parliament, once enacted into law, intends to promote the responsible use of social media platforms. It is also aimed at ensuring the provisions of cybersecurity in the country, declaration and protection of critical information, infrastructure, provide for the collection of network-related crimes, as well as provide for the registration of cybersecurity services providers.
Having in our country now is everything is being taken political, and that's a threat to the future of this country. Listen, when you talk of bullying, what is bullying? Bullying, we're talking of any comment or posts that undermine, intimidate, or infringe someone's rights. That's what bullying is. To those that are in the position of breaking a law, for them they will not be in support of a law. But if you know that this law has come to protect you, and I think the other thing, we must grow beyond the political party affiliation mentality to a level where we analyze something, not looking at it because I'm in opposition today. Listen, political parties will come and go. It's not like the Patriotic Front will be in the government forever. No, they'll come. There was UNIP. UNIP is no more. There's MMD. MMD is no more. There's us, the PF, who are still there. And the time will come, a right time will come for us to leave. Others also come in and take over. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is whatever we do, let us do it for the well-being of our people, the Zambian people, not the political party members. No. I think any form of bullying must not be condoned in an ideal society, which I believe Zambia is an ideal society. So the best we can do is to ensure that this bill is a success this time around. There are a lot of things that have been shot in Parliament, all because politics were attached to them.
The charity Chanda Lumpa Foundation has handed over a borehole to Leopards Hill Seventh-day Adventist Church in Bauleni Compound. Foundation Chief Executive Officer Charity Chanda Lumpa thanked the congregation for their cooperation and urged the leadership to be good stewards by guarding the borehole jealously. Church Administrative Elder Mosanje, who spoke on behalf of the congregation, thanked the foundation for the gift of water to the church, which has operated without water since its inception in 2009.
The people of Bauleni, and courtesy of Leopards Hill SDA Church. We have done a great service to this community, and we are proud to partner with you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
Amen. So in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Twala ndile Charity Chanda Lumpa Foundation yanina pakubiriva ti ubuntu kubombera abantu nokubomba chapa mona bena efyo mkwaye twateka twala vika bogo na iye bantu chilayo makamaka ngwasapange chila munganda yako alesa tetulanda tiyo kaita parliament na tuchitevo twarefwa yayi so inena mitotela kailina pakubonte ibogo na hand pump na ifoma tupepela Kristo Yesu lere ya buta lesale tusanikira ine pakubonfe ameshaya mubefe abachite mwiko abakumvwana abakwikatana abamuchishi necho tulelandile fipantu tulekwayati we leave no one behind icho chintu chikankala sana bakateka batu baye changwa roho so namumibele Yesu epo tuleka la mu community na mungani bafe bonse tufireke bonse tuleya fona twasunge chichipe ngechipe cheno fi ai no kuposa kosana amani.
South Africa receives a second batch of COVID-19 vaccines. This and the sports story coming up.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Super cereal. We always start our day with nutritious super cereal. It's so easy to make. Just add hot water or milk. Fortified with essential vitamins, gives you energy and keeps you alert. Super cereal is so good for you. Comes in 3 yummy flavors: original, banana, and strawberry, and tastes so good.
Easy Super Cereal is made from non-GMO maize and soya and is good for the whole family. Found in all leading stores.
Super cereal.
Quick and easy.
Tastes delicious. Super cereal. Full of goodness.
Makes you stronger.
Super cereal.
Easy Super Cereal. Brought to you by Java Foods.
2021 is finally here. Zambia is at the crossroads heading towards general elections this August. In the world where fake news, biased reporting on national issues has become the order of the day, in a world where social media in most cases spills lies and exaggerated information, insightful coverage, Zambia needs one media. Living in a country where people are slowly promoting tribalism, hatred, bitterness and revenge, political temperature is heating up and people's hearts are perplexed. Zambia needs one media. Zambia being a Christian nation living under the lordship of Jesus Christ, the nation cannot afford a compromised gospel. Zambia needs a prophetic media house. For hope, peace and unity, Zambia needs Camnet television for non-biased, factual reporting, balanced opinion, accurate news coverage. Zambia needs Camnet television for national projects and development of our beloved country Zambia. Watch Camnet TV on channel 274 DSTV, channel 98 on GoTV, and channel 106 on Topstar. Remember, Camnet TV is not just another channel.
This is Camnet News. Thanks for staying on. We now look at international news. The second batch of the Johnson & Johnson's vaccines have arrived in South Africa. The 80,000 doses are due to be sent to a secure location. More than 50,000 frontline health workers have already received 1 dose of the vaccine. America's Food and Drug Administration recently announced that the Johnson & Johnson's vaccine is highly effective in preventing severe cases of COVID-19. In other news, still on the global front, Eritrean soldiers have been accused of killing hundreds of Ethiopian civilians in 24-hour massacre late last year. Amnesty International says the attack on the city of Axum came as Ethiopia's federal forces retook the capital of Tigray region after a deadly battle. Here's a roundup of international stories.
A hive of activity here on the tarmac of the OR Tambo cargo hold, where flight SAA landed from Brussels, coming back from collecting the 80,000 vials of Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
SA flight cargo pilot Vusimusi Kumalo spoke about the challenges they faced in transporting the vaccines.
We haven't been flying for a long time, and the implications was we have, as crew, to get current according to the requirements of our license and stuff like that. So that was the biggest challenge, to have crew ready to be able to do this flight, since most of the airlines have been grounded and we couldn't keep our license current. So that was a big hassle. And then we had to apply to the CAA for some exemptions and stuff like that. The CAA were very helpful. They worked with us, and we go through all that documentation and make sure that we comply, because we didn't want anything to go wrong. And as this has a lot of interest, not only in South Africa, but worldwide, how we do things, so we wanted to make sure that everything is done properly.
Despite criticism that the flight was an exercise in wasteful expenditure by an already constrained entity, these local pilots say it was their duty to bring in the much-needed vaccines.
From our side, we're pretty excited that we managed to do this, not only for ourselves, but for our countrymen, because all of us have been touched by the pandemic.
And it's anticipated that these vaccines will be distributed throughout the 9 provinces and sent to the most essential of workers, such as doctors and nurses, to ensure that our vaccine program really starts to get underway. Personnel from AXA and BioAir, the company responsible for bringing the vaccines into the country and securing the flight into the country, made sure that the vaccines were offloaded in a methodical and secure manner, escorted by members of the South African police, and put in a truck that will now be sent to a secure facility to ensure that quality control measures are taken place and are put in place before the vaccines themselves are distributed to the 9 provinces throughout the country.
Eritrean and Ethiopian forces began their attack on the town of Aksum with indiscriminate shelling, according to rights group Amnesty International. It's released these videos and a report. It says on the 28th of November last year, Tigrayan militia and civilians tried to fight back. Some of them armed with only sticks and stones, attacking Eritrean soldiers on this hill. It says the militia failed and the reprisals were brutal. According to dozens of testimonies, Amnesty says Eritrean troops came into the town and executed hundreds of civilian men and teenage boys. This video shows the body of one of them.
People describe harrowing scenes of people running and being shot in the back, or people being, lined up one behind the other and executed by Eritrean soldiers.
Eritrea's government didn't respond to our requests for comment. It has previously denied its troops were in Ethiopia. Ethiopia's government, in a statement, questioned the accuracy of Amnesty's sources and said it was committed to undertake investigations. In early November, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed sent federal forces into the Tigray region. He said it was a law enforcement operation to topple the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front that had dominated Ethiopia's politics and military for nearly 3 decades before Abiy came to power. When government troops took control of the regional capital, Mekelle, Abiy declared the operations over. But there have been reports of low-level fighting ever since. Researchers say these satellite images taken last week show hundreds of structures destroyed by fire in the town of Gijet.
Full return to stability is a work in progress, but there is no doubt the situation keeps on improving, allowing better movement of humanitarian operations, except for a few pocket areas where there is sporadic shooting by these remnants.
Access to the conflict areas has been heavily restricted. Information about what happened in Tigray in recent months steadily seeps out, and with it, a growing number of reports of atrocities by all sides.
That's it for international news. We go straight into sports news. Andrew Kamanga has been re-elected as vice president at the delayed 2020 AGM in Livingstone. In the presidential contest, Mr. Kamanga polled 57 votes, while his challenger, Emmanuel Munaile, got 29 votes. And for the vice presidency, Justin Mumba polled 55 votes to claim the right to deputize Mr. Kamanga, while second in the race, Gideon Mwenya secured 31 votes, and on third was Mandona Longa, who could not secure any vote. In the meantime, Colonel Priscilla Katora got maximum votes to take leadership in women representation. This sees Andrew Kamanga leading FAS for the next 4 years. Well, congratulations to Mr. Kamanga and his administration, and wish him good luck. Well, that interesting item ends our news tonight, but before we go, let's just look at the headlines once again. NDC leader CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI suspends his vice president, Joseph AKAFUMBA. Confusion broke the African Methodist 17th Episcopal Church. And COVID-19 claims 15 lives in the last 24 hours. In international news, second batch of Johnson's & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccines arrive in South Africa. And in sports news, Kamanga retains FA's top job. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, and it's coming from 1 John 3 verse 18, and it reads, "My children, our love should not only be in words and talk. Our love must be real. We must show our love by the things we do." Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. This is Camnet TV, not just another channel. Remember to observe the COVID-19 health guidelines and stay healthy. Good night.